Atlanta News First Alert Meteorologist JD Dishroon here. And as we take a look at your forecast for the next several days, the good news is we do have some drier air as we go through at least the next 48 hours. But our next First Alert weather day is on Wednesday, and that's going to be for the potential for early morning showers and storms, some of which have the potential to be severe. Now, so far, it looks like the timing keeps getting slightly earlier and slightly earlier. So right now, it looks like a lot of this is going to be really kind of coming in before we even wake up on Wednesday morning. And that's kind of good and bad in just depending on which way you look at it. It's good in the fact that maybe we can get this out of here before the morning commute comes in. Bad in the fact that a lot of us are going to be asleep. So you do need to go to bed on Tuesday with a way to get those weather warnings. You can do that with our First Alert weather app. Just make sure your phone's not on silent, or a weather radio. The one thing we do want to emphasize, though, is don't rely on those sirens, because those are meant for people outdoors. They're not built or designed to alert people who are indoors, which I'm assuming most of us would be indoors while we're sleeping. Now, here's the forecast for the next 5 days. We're going to be looking at dry air, as we mentioned, Monday and Tuesday, then the showers and storms on Wednesday. By the time we get into Thursday, though, clearing skies are going to start to come back out, and that's some good news there. And then we're going to wrap up the week on Friday with dry skies. In fact, our next chance of rain after Wednesday is really not going to be coming in until we get into the weekend. So for today, much cooler than what we saw yesterday. We only topped out at 57 degrees for the afternoon. 62 was our average, and first time in a while that we were below average there. Our morning low also below average. 36 here in the city. A lot of folks, though, out into the suburbs, and especially up into North Georgia, got up into the freezing mark. So a very chilly morning out there, and that's something that we're going to be looking at again tonight. Right now, in the 8 o'clock hour, we're at 50 degrees. That's 10 degrees cooler than we were in the 8 o'clock hour yesterday. The one thing you'll notice, though, is those winds, north-northwest, about 8 miles an hour, much slower than what we saw yesterday when we had gusts 25 to 35 miles an hour. In the dry air with all of that combined to make some pretty gnarly brush fires out there, and help to spread building fires that we had earlier today. So the good news is we do expect slowly the moistening of the atmosphere as we go to the next few days. So hopefully that fire risk is going to be going a little bit farther down. Meanwhile, we're going to be looking at temperatures across North Georgia already in the 30s for Ellijay, 41 in Helen. But as we mentioned, 50 here in Atlanta. Still, though, cooler outside of the city. So 43 already in Griffin, 42 in LaGrange, 46 in Athens, and 44 in Carrollton. Everyone looking to be about 15 to 20 degrees cooler than they were this time yesterday. So it is a big change from the front that slid through. Now, the one thing that hasn't changed is the pollen. Unfortunately, we're still forecasting high for your Monday and Tuesday, but by Wednesday, maybe knocking that down into the moderate category, and that's because of the rain that's moving through in the morning. Now, rain's kind of a little fickle thing, because if you get just a short downburst, it can actually take the pollen on the ground and put it back into the atmosphere, but I think we're going to get enough heavy rain from this system, and it'll last long enough to really kind of help to wash some of those particulates out of the atmosphere. So that's going to be some great news for you allergy sufferers. If we're trying to find a silver lining to these storms that are going to be rolling through, that is one of them. Now, take a look at these temperatures. Overnight, we're going to be dipping down, again, back into the 30s here in Atlanta, but look at some of these other temperatures. Now, keep in mind, I just showed you we're 50 right now in Atlanta, and a lot of folks are already in the lower 40s, and that's why you kind of notice Atlanta sticking out there a little bit on the warmer side. That heat island effect is really going to be taking hold as we go into the overnight hours. Once you get outside the perimeter, though, we're going to be seeing those temperatures back into the upper 20s to lower 30s. That's why we're seeing Carrollton, Douglasville, Dallas all going to be in the 28 to 32 degree range. Same for folks out in Covington, Eatonton, over into Athens, and then upper teens to lower 20s for folks in the North Georgia mountains. Really kind of depends on your elevation. Now, tomorrow, it's a beautiful day. Get outside. Enjoy it. It's going to be warmer than today with partly cloudy skies. And then as we head on into the rest of the state, you can see everyone, for the most part, except maybe the highest elevations of the North Georgia mountains, are looking at the 60s. So folks up into Helen and also over in towards Rabun County, Habersham County, maybe up into the upper 50s. Otherwise, though, it's a beautiful day. Warmer and not as windy. So that's some good news. Even warmer still as we head into Tuesday, with our temperatures right around 70 degrees. In fact, a lot of folks are going to be in the lower 70s with clouds rolling in. So by Tuesday, we're going to be looking at mostly cloudy conditions. Obviously, those clouds are going to be rolling in advance of our storm system. So this is early Wednesday. It's really actually late Tuesday, early Wednesday, those overnight hours. And you got that moisture return off the Gulf of Mexico helping to fuel the storms as they're roaring off to the east. And that's what's going to be helping to set up the potential for some severe weather. Now, as of right now, Severe Prediction Center for early Wednesday morning has us under a level 1 of 5. So that is mainly for our western counties. So basically folks to the west of I-75. The bigger threats from this are going to be strong damaging winds with that line of storms that's rolling through, and we cannot rule out an isolated tornado along that line as it moves in through the area. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit just so you can kind of see before it zooms all the way in. This is a pretty massive system that's going to be rolling through. So you see that kind of comma-shaped leading into the backside of all of this. That also has the potential to roll through and give us a few isolated showers late Wednesday into early Thursday. But the actual line of storms extending from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up into the Midwest and then curving back up through Chicago, back into the plains before it all is said and done. Meanwhile, for us, though, we do expect the moisture to begin to move into northwest Georgia as we get to midnight to 2 a.m., rolling through the city of Atlanta as we get to about 3 to 4 a.m. in the morning, and then by 5 a.m. pushing through Athens and Eatonton, and by 7 a.m. really kind of out of the area. So again, for a lot of folks, the potential for this is to get it out of here before the morning commute. Now, the roads will still be slick, keep that in mind. There is going to be slick spots. People are not going to be paying attention. There are going to be a few more accidents more than usual, but hopefully the actual precipitation itself should be gone. And you'll notice by the time we get to noon, mostly sunny skies. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to stay sunny. You'll notice back in Alabama, that back edge, remember that backside of the system I showed you over Oklahoma and Texas over Tuesday? Well, that's going to be moving in as we go into late Wednesday into early Thursday. No severe potential with that side. It's the cooler side of the system. Just really kind of a drizzle, mist, nuisance precipitation there for you. So overall, your forecast, the First Alert 7-day forecast, looking pretty decent for the next 2 days. Again, we do have the increasing clouds, partly cloudy, 64 for your Monday. Tuesday, we're going to be looking at 70 degrees, but mostly cloudy, in fact, overcast by the evening hours. Again, looking for the silver lining of that, if you're coming home to Douglas County, you're heading down to Coweta, or you're, living in Noonan, your evening commute won't have the sunshine delays we typically would see, and you probably will see on Monday. Now, by Wednesday, again, Tuesday night really into Wednesday, that's our First Alert weather day. Showers and storms in the morning. We'll get a break in the afternoon and then maybe some light rain for the evening hours. And then all of that finally moves out as we head into Thursday. Then we're going to see the mostly sunny skies. But like today, it'll be colder behind that front. So we're going to see those temperatures back into the middle 50s. And then a little breezy as well before rebounding into the mid-60s on Friday with partly cloudy skies. And then Saturday, we'll notice the clouds increasing, highs up near 70, and then the chance for moisture to arrive late Saturday into early Sunday. Still getting timing on this, and the models are nowhere near an agreement on how much rain could be making it into the southeast, but it's still a week away. So, we have time to kind of get through that. And really, in the meteorology world, we kind of like to say, let's get through one system before focusing too heavily on the next one. So once we get beyond Wednesday, we'll have a much better idea of what's going to be happening on into next week. But, overall, it's a few chances of rain on this, so a little bit more of an active pattern than we've seen over the past several days. And for those of you who are joining in late, I am going to roll over the severe threat one more time before leaving you this evening. Again, as I zoom out on this, I kind of want to show you. We're going to stop these auto advances. They're not helping my case here. The severe outlook, the biggest threat is going to be well back out towards the west. That's where we do have an enhanced risk, a level 3 out of 5 for Shreveport, over towards the north shore of Louisiana, and then up in towards central Mississippi and southeastern Arkansas. But we do have the level 1 risk here for our western counties, so pretty much everyone west of I-75. Main threats are going to be damaging straight-line winds with this line of storms, and also the potential for a spin-up tornado as well. Now, again, timing on all this is going to be Wednesday, 1 a.m., moving in towards northwest Georgia, really midnight to 2 a.m. The models aren't going to be super precise on timing right now. 2 to 4 moving through Atlanta, down towards Griffin, back in towards Peachtree City, up towards Alpharetta and Gainesville, and then by 6, 7 o'clock, starting to move out of the area in Athens, and then by 8 to 10, it's gone. We'll see sunshine in the afternoon, and then maybe some drizzle and light showers by the evening hours into the overnight. Don't forget, you can always get a live radar in the palm of your hand. You can get severe weather alerts for your area, and then also an hourly forecast from the First Alert weather app. You can download that from your iOS or Android device. Just search First Alert Weather. Hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll be back here streaming tomorrow morning.